Let's talk challenges. So, one of the things that I'm kind of known for, at least in my friend circle, is challenges. I love to push myself to find out where it is that I want to quit, to give myself something that in some parts of the world they call masogi. Other places it's like there's different names for it, but the bottom line is that it's a challenge. It's something that if you start it, there's a good chance you might not be able to finish it. And that's the key. It has to be something that you're not sure you can finish. And that's also the beauty in it. It doesn't have to be complicated. It could be something so simple. I'll give you an example. One very simple challenge that my friend and I did was 1 year. For 1 year, you have to lift, run, and roll every day. 365 days from that starting point, you have to lift, run, roll every single day. Can't miss. Now, on the face of it, that's very simple. It should be pretty easy. We're doing it anyway. We lift all the time, we run all the time, and we roll as much as we can, right? That's why we love all this stuff. But think about this. Think about family obligations. Think about travel. You have to go somewhere. Funerals come up. Births come up. Your friends, babies, weddings, all kinds of things come up in that year period that create obstacles, that create friction. And you still have to find a way to lift, run, roll every day. And so while it seemed to be so simple when we initially were sitting around talking about like, hey, what if we just lift, run, roll every day for a year? That's our next challenge. And in the beginning, I'll tell you how it evolved into a year. In the beginning, we said 30 days because that was how all of our challenges had gone. Always 30 days, one calendar month, 30 days, 31 days, whatever. This is what we're going to do. And yeah. And we thought, well, yeah, but we already lift, run, roll. Like, this is easy. Let's do it for a year. Wow. It was not easy. Yes, we did it. It was not easy. It was really hard. Imagine the injuries that you get in a year of rolling, where you take a day or two off to let yourself recover. All that good stuff, that's out. You got a challenge. We got to show up, man. We got to do it. You said you're going to do it. Non-negotiable. Has to be done. Oh, you're traveling. You didn't get to your hotel until 11 at night. And now you got to figure out how to roll. Like, who you going to roll with? I don't know. Figure it out. Think about those kind of things. Like, just the logistics of it, man. It was quite the challenge. And it was very fun. And it revealed to me things I didn't know about myself, as do all of these challenges. So, why the challenge? Usually because there's a behavior that I want to incentivize. There's something that I want to develop within myself that I don't currently have, or something that I have, but I want to enhance. I want it to grow. I want it to become bigger and greater and stronger. So that's why the challenge. Now, people can argue back and forth about motivation versus discipline. I don't engage in that argument. It's silly to me because you can't have one without the other. You need the motivation to start. Like, something has to happen that motivates you, either internally or externally. There has to be something that lets you know, here's a problem, or here's something you could do if you choose to. And you have to feel that motivation that, like, I want to do this. Like, I want that. I want whatever it is. And then you start, and discipline is what comes in to keep you going. So it gets you started, and discipline is what keeps that momentum going until eventually the ideal state is it's habitual. It's just what you do. For example, I don't really have to set my alarm, because for years I have awakened early enough to read and run before I start my day. So I always start my day with some reading and reflection, and running. And that's been the case for maybe even decades. I can't even remember not start my day in that way. And so it has become habitual. And so I don't even need to set my alarm. I don't need to, I just know I'm going to get up and I'm going to read and then I'm going to run. That's how it is. What initially started that motivation was I just didn't have time. I didn't have time to read and run every day the way I love to, the way I want to, the way I need to. My body needs that run. My mind needs that time of reflection and reading and writing. And it simply became a matter of necessity. The only way I was going to be able to get that 90 minutes that I needed to read and run was to get up 90 minutes earlier, actually an hour earlier, to give myself time to wake up, have some coffee, do the morning things, brush teeth, wash the face a little bit, and then get out the door. So that's where that came from. And eventually it just became a habit. I don't even think about it anymore. But there was an initial motivation. And then there were days where I didn't want to do it, but I had to discipline myself and make myself do it. And then eventually I didn't have to make myself anymore because it's just what I do. With these challenges, that's the goal. I see something that I want to develop. And I think to myself, how would I incentivize that behavior? How would I, like a backfill? Like if I want to be able to run a marathon in, say, 20 days, which is doable. Even if you're not in shape, it's still doable. But you are going to be miserable for a week or two, or maybe all of those 20 days up until the marathon and after. But you just backfill. So there's a training, you start at 0 and ramp up, undulating ramps up to this point of competition day. And what you do is you just take the competition day and you backfill to somewhere between 0 and where you are now. That's where you start. And you just do it. And then it becomes a challenge. So the point with that is that I would see something I wanted to develop in myself. Maybe, I wanted to wake up every day and write down 3 things I'm grateful for. And every night before I go to sleep, I want to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. And I make that a challenge. And I say to myself, every day for the next 30 days, I'm going to do this. Because I'm tired of waking up or falling asleep in a negative state. I'm tired of feeling like the whole world's against me. Everything's going wrong that can go wrong. The world's a horrible place. I hate my life. I hate existing in this space. And I was tired of it. And I thought, well, what's the quickest way to raise your frequency? What's the quickest way to change your vibration? Gratitude. Gratitude's the quickest way. And so I'm going to do that every day. I'm going to start my day with gratitude. I'm going to end my day with gratitude. I'm going to do that for the next 30 days. Well, here we are, 20 years later. Yeah, maybe more. Yeah, about 25 years later, here we are. I don't even have to think about it anymore. I just do it. It is a habit. I wake up grateful for everything that I have and some of the things that I don't have, like addictions, you name it. There's so many things to be grateful for. And I fall asleep. The last thing I think about before I fall asleep is what I'm grateful for. And it's more than 3 nowadays. I just start this list and eventually I'm out. I'm asleep. I don't even remember where I fell out asleep, So it became a habit, but I incentivized it with a challenge. And so that's what I'm encouraging you guys to do with these challenges is think of a behavior that you want to develop, that you want to make habitual, and then challenge yourself. Make it non-negotiable. I think one of the mistakes I made in the early days of these challenges is not sharing it with people. One, really wasn't social media. There were forums, which I guess were an early form of social media because we interacted, but there's no pictures, video, anything like that. You just type and write, here's what I'm doing. And so I did do that. I did say, the threads, the rebuilding a snowflake and all those threads on the Total Protection Interactive forums. Yes, I did share there, and I had a blog that I would write on every day and record. Basically, it was like a training log that was virtual, and people could comment and spam. But the point is just, with social media today, I would share my challenges, if I were you guys, with people in my circles, people in my social network, for accountability. And then post pictures, post video of you doing the challenge every day. And eventually it becomes habitual. Eventually it becomes the behavior you wanted to develop. Now it's there. So that's one of the things that I would do differently if I had to go back in time and redo things. Or if I was starting now to do them, that's what I would do, which I do. You guys see that. I post that stuff. But yeah, that's where the challenges came from. That was the kind of the motive behind the challenges, was changing my behavior. How do I do it? Create non-negotiables, push myself into the areas of discomfort until eventually it's not uncomfortable. It's no longer uncomfortable. It's actually normal. And to borrow a term from the old CrossFit days, this becomes the new normal, where this is what I do and this is how I live and this is how I train and all these things. That's where it came from. So if you guys can get anything from that, I hope that you do. I hope you create your own challenges, share them with me. Right now I'm doing dragon flags every day for 30 days. 3 days into that, and I'm so sore. That is a heck of a workout for the abs. So I've been mixing movement with static holds to see which ones I like better. So the movements are basically the movement. You're lifting your legs, your entire body off the ground. And then the static holds are, I lift myself to the point where I feel like I can't hold it. I feel like I'm at that tipping point where I'm going to lose it. And then I hold there for as long as I can, which could be 10 seconds or 60 seconds. But I just do those. I do 5 of those holds as long as I can. I rest for the amount of time that I held and then go again. And so the hold becomes shorter, but so does the rest period between, if that makes sense. If you have questions on that, ask me. And on the movement days, I just do as many as I can, 3 sets, as many as I can, which isn't many. So those are pretty quick as well. But that's the challenge I'm doing now. I just want to push my abdominal work up harder, make it harder than what I normally do. So there you have it. That's the challenges. That's what I do. Even this is a challenge. This is part of a 30-day, turn it on, don't turn it off, no editing, posting. It's a challenge in a group I'm in where you have been challenged to post every day without an edit. Don't stop. Just hit record. And then when you hit stop, go right to YouTube and post. Here we are. All right, man. I will see you guys tomorrow.